how-to video of Swift Cloud ERP. In this video, I'll be sharing with you some amazing new updates that we added to the hotel management or reservation module of the software. So there are a couple of them. I'll just take them one after the other. I will start with the navigation. So the menu for reservation is on the left-hand side, like you can see. And if you check your account currently, you might see up to 10 different sub-menus. So one of the things we've done is, if you can just add these 4 menus, you should be able to gain access or have access to all the other sub-menus without having to, add all those long lists of menus there for you. And for those of you who are aware, you know that our menus are fully customizable. In other words, you can determine what's shown on the left hand side here, both at the menu level and at the sub menu level. So let's explore very quickly how this works. So I'll start with new reservation. So if you open new reservation, you actually see that we've worked on the visual. It's much more visually appealing, and we've added 2 extra fields. So you have nationality and means of identification here. So those 2 fields have been added. And the next here is housekeeping. So this is an entirely new page, and I'll just take time to explain how the housekeeping module works. So you recall that in the existing feature of the software, the way the software was before this update was added, you realize that we did not really have a streamlined way of managing housekeeping. So you need to just manually go and set a room as reserved, and then the room is not going to be available again. But we tried to change that, and that's thanks to all the feedback we've gotten from our existing clients. So one of the things that we've built into this is, so I'm just going to share some of the rules with you. So the first thing is, when creating a room for the first time, that room is going to be set to dirty. So when the room is set to dirty, the next step would be that somebody is sent to go clean the room, and that person goes in and clicks that he has started cleaning the room. So it moves to the state, it changes the status to cleaning. Then when cleaning is completed, the person clicks that he or she is done cleaning, and then a supervisor comes to confirm and approve that the place is clean. Of course, the supervisor can either approve or reject. If it's approved, it means it's cleaned and ready for occupation. So from what you can see in the dashboard here, you see very clear that we have 16 rooms that are ready, and therefore we don't have any active housekeeping tasks. At the top here, the super admin sees this. Non-super admin users or admin users don't see this top menu you see here. So for instance, if there was some kind of maintenance that was carried out on the entire hotel, you can at a click approve all the rooms at once, right? You can set all the rooms as dirty. You can also set all the rooms as under maintenance. And under maintenance simply means the rooms are not going, they are going to be, out of use until whatever issues the room has been fixed. And of course, the next is resolve maintenance. But the thing is, when you resolve maintenance issues, the status changes back to dirty, meaning that we need to still send the housekeeper to go clear things up and make sure that everything is okay. Then it's granted approval, then it's all ready again. So with this, we have it's a very standard, way of making sure that we manage how the rooms are. So it's not like a guest just checks out and the room is now made available automatically like it used to be in the past. So to just show you how this really works, I'm going to manually set a room to I'll set the status of a room as under maintenance. I'll resolve the maintenance issue and it's going to set the room status to dirty, so that we can actually play around with this and test it. And to do that, it takes us to the next menu here, which is reservation settings. So reservation settings page now has every single thing that has to do with settings, down to configuring your reservation configuration, setting your reservation confirmation reports, just like you had in reservation settings. You have everything now on one page. So let's go to manage room categories, and I'm just going to pick a room from the deluxe option that I have here, and you can see clearly out of order. So if I click out of order, it means I'm setting it to be on maintenance, and I'm assuming that we are done with maintenance and everything is back in use. So once I do this, this room is going to be set to, which room is this specifically? This is going to be set to dirty. That's room 303. So if I go to my reservation module and click bookkeeping, you see that the room is already listed here as dirty. It's assigned to a particular staff. So this is very important because three new rows actually have been added. You have default housekeeping and you have housekeeping. So two rows actually, default housekeeping and housekeeping. The default housekeeping is the person that automatically is assigned a housekeeping task, and then the housekeeping, anybody given housekeeping role has access to this page and can actually start cleaning, confirm cleaning is completed and things like that. So we can see very clearly I'm the super admin and I'm also the housekeeper, so I see all these menus. So keep in mind that your role determines what you actually get to see. So let's click. I'm going to assume that I want to start the cleaning process, right? So I'm going to click start, and you can see very clearly that the house, it has changed the status to 1 under cleaning. The next is, if I'm done cleaning, I click mark as cleaned. So once I've done that, I wait for my supervisor to just simply approve. It is only upon approval, of course he approves or rejects, right? Upon approval that the room is now made available for someone to be able to book. So just giving you an idea about how all this works. And remember, like I said, when it gets this checked out, the room is automatically set to dirty. So it needs to pass through this process before it's made available again. So that's in a nutshell, how this system works. I'll be happy if you have questions, you can ask and stuff like that. So let's go to reports. So the reports now also brings all the reports together, so you don't need to have all those many sub menus at the bottom like I said. But very important about the reports is we have two very important dashboards that have been added. One of them is the reservation dashboard and the other is the Businessday Reports. So let's click the reservation dashboard and see how it looks. So this shows virtually a summary of everything that happens in your hotel in both these cards as well as the chart at the bottom. So revenue from the various departments and stuff like that can be seen at a glance. And then also let's check the next one, business review, just more focuses on the financial side of things. And then lastly, all the other reports, you have current guests and all that have all been worked on. So for example, for the current guests, you now can see the guests that have been checked in. You see the guests that will be arriving on that day, and you have upcoming bookings the next 7 days. So this is more worked on to make sure you have a better experience. Lastly, before I move to some other things, let me just show you very quickly how to make changes to your menu. So for example, you have all our menus under admin. Of course, you have to be admin to have access to this, right? So I click my menu and I see all the menus. So if I don't want, for example, to display inventory, I can just simply come here and then disable inventory, and it's not going to be displayed again. So you just have sales, reservation, and all that. I don't want it that way, so I'm going to was it inventory? I think I made a mistake there. So let me disable inventory. So inventory is gone, and then I want to enable inventory again. So I'm going to look for inventory, and then where is it? Inventory, and enable it back again, and it's back here. I think it was accounting that I disabled it. I need to have it back, so I have accounting back here again. So if you want, for each of the menus now, you want to remove a sub menu, you can just come to reservations. For example, if I don't want a particular menu, I can just simply click here to delete it. Like for example, if I don't want new reservation, I just click it, and once I click, it's going to be out completely. So no new reservation again. But let me just add it back. New reservation, and then I add. Remember, if I want to order it as the number 1, I click 1 here. If I want it to be number 2, I click 2. If I want it to anyone I want to be a particular number, I just click the number and it orders it exactly. So at least this shows you, like I said, very importantly for the reservation, once you have new reservation, housekeeping, reports, and reservation settings, that covers all the menus. You don't need to have all this long list of sub menus listed there at all. Those 4 menus cover everything. So I had mentioned that 2 more rows have been added. So for the housekeeper, the head of the housekeeping should have that default housekeeping role, and then all the other housekeepers can now be assigned the housekeeping role so that they are able to attend to the rooms that have issues and all that. Then accommodation admin and accommodation users still play all the role of supervising. Accommodation admin particularly plays a role of the head of anything rooms and all that, while the user is someone that's able to check in guests and all that. So those are the key things I needed to share with us about the reservation. So if there are questions, I'll be happy to take them from you. Thank you very much and see you later.